And we did some requests to CIM Council to revise the short course financial and process model, and I think it was a good idea because we had many workshops for the weekend, and the idea was to make sure that our society can have a say on those workshops, and we can get some money from those workshops also, if money there. And ESP also requests CIM to take a study on the feasibility to get the national environmental goal. We don't have a deadline for that, but it's something that is dear to my heart, and that will be what I will focus for the next year. We also have to comment some letters that Angela Hamlin and Janice think every year. So that's part of my volunteer job. And we are also working. We will probably propose a national policy on reconciliation for the next year to come. And we also are waiting because we produced an ESRS-CIM MOU. So we are waiting for news from the CIM National Office about this. We have an ESRS strategic plan for 2018-2020. I won't show it, but if you want to see a copy of it, I will be pleased to. It will be my pleasure to send you a copy of that. It's kind of a very elaborated plan, and I think the executive is working very hard on that. And in terms of governance, we did work on an ESRS funding criteria because we're receiving from the National Office many funding requests. So we did formulate a policy, making sure that we are knowing what we're doing every year with in terms of criteria. We can also show that policy if you're interested. Basically, we're a young society with not much money to compare with other societies. Some societies have policies of $300,000, and you will see in our budget that we are under $70,000, so we cannot afford to give the same kind of amount as funding as other societies. And we're looking for getting other ways of getting money. We did a revision of the charter account, which is much simpler now, and it was a good work to do. We did work a lot with the Kim Bickman, who's our treasurer, and she's not here right now. She's in Vancouver, and she's on the phone. And we did a revision of the charter. You will see that later on because we have some little amendments, but it's just about who we run. And I don't even know if it's a word in English. Who we run? Good guess. In terms of best practices, I did a little bit of work and helped Carola talk on this national instrument, and someone else will talk about that later. But for myself, I had to work on the social part with Ian Thompson right there. And we have a panel tomorrow, so that's plenty of entrance. That's not tomorrow, it's Wednesday. And in terms of publication, we'll see with Gabrielle the reports on what's going on in terms of publication. So I won't talk more about it. It's just the kind of work that I'm working on. And in collaboration and partnership, I did focus a lot on the partnership this year, making sure that I reach to other societies and committees. And I think you will see, we will have a presentation later on from Annie Mickey from the CMSS, which is the Canadian Mining School Committee. And we also have partnership with DIAC, as you can see. Alana Eagle, chair of DIAC, is also a member of ESRS, so we are very strong on strategic linkages. And I want to do, that's my personal one, I want to do for next year, I want to put my emphasis on the Center for Excellence on CSR. This is a center that exists on paper. Yeah. And we want to revive that center. So I will work on that a little bit more, working a little bit more with the Montreal branch and with the CSA as well. And we want to do with Lana, we want to create some awareness sessions on diversity and indigenous reconciliation for other societies and branches within the community. So that's my little report for this year. I will pass the microphone to Carol. Carola, sorry. So she's the teacher, I'm the class. So my role really with ESRS is to make sure that I'm helping Edith in understanding what it is to be a chair of this society. She bears a lot of weight on her shoulders as such. So I just wanted to say, Edith, thank you very much for your work this year. She has done an amazing job. I know there's a lot of initiatives, and she has really pulled a lot of volunteer hours into getting what you see these days together. So Edith wanted me to talk a little bit about membership. So this is a little analytic that I ran back in February on our membership. So 32 people have picked ESRS as their primary society as interest. There are as many secondary ones. I did not want to do that analysis because it's over 2,000 people. So which means people care about environment, they want to get engaged. They also receive all our newsletters. So this is just a little look at who's in there. 32% female, and we have our first baby. So we're a very society. So I like those numbers. Also, it's very nice to see a lot of active women in this organization as well. Lots of academic students, and we split quite evenly between consultants, industry, and academics. So this is, I think, a very nice picture. It shows you that it is an engaged community, and it is doing what it's supposed to do, which is to bring together all these elements of civil society to resolve some of the challenges we face. That's all I wanted to say. We are low on the NGO though, but maybe that's my analysis. It would be good to see some of those folks at the table as well. Do you want me to go later? Okay. So as I finished my tenure, I also started engaging with some of the other past chairs to see how we as societies can interact some more. Edith has taken on a lot of that because it helps her also in council as she's learning about new initiatives and how things are working in CIM. CIM is a complex organization like Canada, with all the and one of my primary roles is to figure out new funding. As Edith mentioned, we're a young society. We need other funding sources as well. We kicked off webinars in the past, and that was sort of a trial, see how that comes, and see whether we can make any money out of it later. That's something that we should explore. Also, whether we can do some other technical meetings and build upon the other models that other societies use to run, let's say, a one-day session or a two-day session, special on environment and social responsibility. So that's going to be something that I'll be looking at next year. And I'm sitting, not yesterday, unfortunately, Benoit, but I do sit on the audit and finance committee. Thank you, Carola. Karen now.
Right. So I've been primarily responsible for ensuring you have a good technical program throughout the year. So that's both for the conference as well as for webinars and other things that we're doing. And the activities with the workshop, working group. And so I play much the role of a coordinator. I bring all of the different things together and help engage each group and get the focus where each one is really on. So what I would say is that we have a lot of good support from everyone, and they make my job really easy. And we managed for this year's program to put together, I think, 18 or 20, somewhere in that range, sessions for this year's program. So we have the full lineup of people and communities, as well as this sustainable development. But what you might not know is that we also have several other sessions that we helped assemble and put into other streams where they made sense. So we have a couple in operations, we have some in rocks to resources, and I think there's even one in innovation that has a spin of tailings and water and instrumentation and things in there as well. Yes, and the other things that we have for the program is the tailings workshop, which Alistair will be talking about, but I was sort of just involved with a lot of the meetings to help move that forward, and the stakeholder dialogue session as well, which I was less involved with that when I let some other people take the lead on that. Lana and Holly and Andre, I can see him. And so I think we have a very strong program this year, a lot of really good and interesting topics, spanning everything across the board for that. I've also been working towards looking at the collaborative side of things as well. We've been contacted by the Global Mining Guidance Group. We have been working with CSA as well. We have plans to work with METSOC and the CMP moving forward, particularly on this tailings initiative. We'll see where we can actually do some work together, as well as maybe cross paths on the webinars that we're putting together and maybe collaborate a little bit more so that we're not, sometimes we've had sessions on the exact same day, same time, which we didn't really realize. So we'll try and avoid that this coming year and feed stuff to each other and share them with our community. I guess the other things I'll be continuing to work on is just looking at towards the next year, what our plans are for the next year, helping to develop the strategic plans with each of the working groups, setting some goals and targets in that area, and then working towards those things, supporting them wherever I can. And I've been mentoring Laurel a little bit on the communication side, and then, I don't know, just generally supporting everyone. So that's been my role and my activity for the year. So, and I do have to apologize. I have to chair the next session, so I actually have to get going.
We will go through this maybe one slide or two, and then Annie Mickey can start the presentation. Is that fine, Annie? That's fine in a few minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I will ask Alistair and Judy.
Yes, so I've been more involved with the technical program, and Alistair has been more involved with the tailings workshop. So I'll let Alistair talk about the tailings workshop, which was yesterday.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's been a real pleasure working with an otherwise entirely female executive, and I've been extremely impressed with their efficiency and focus and liveliness and breadth. I've been trying to put tailings and related sustainability topics along with a number of other people like Dave and Ian over there within the society on the agenda for over 10 years, and so it's this year's activities have been a continuation of that and the efforts of other people like Rick Seawick. And my focus has been to work with the working group of volunteers that signed up at the beginning of the year and encourage them to come up with ideas, building on past work and synergizing with the work of other organizations like the Mining Association of Canada and their very strong tailings guidance initiatives. And this year we logically progressed, having discussed last year roles and responsibilities of individual accountable folk, from the independent reviewers to the engineers of record and other people involved in tailings management. And this year it became evident that we needed to focus more on governance, systems thinking, and how we stitch the whole thing together. Brazilian events brought that all sharply into focus, and despite how busy all of the competent persons that we'd managed to bring together were dealing with the aftermath of Brazil, we were able yesterday to run a roughly 40-person all-day workshop. Great lineup of speakers, some past distinguished lecturers, and a good balance of industry and consulting to really dive into some of the soft underbelly governance issues that and systems thinking aspects of how tailings get managed. We'll be reporting on the outcome of that, and really looking to continue to build momentum, widen the message, broadcast what we learned yesterday to a wider audience, and that ties in with this new initiative that Janice was talking about. So we'll be kind of complementing the operational current state of the union of tailings management with looking over the horizon to newer technologies and ultimate elimination. We also, some of our group contributed to the NI 43-101 guidance on environmental management, which has a significant focus on tailings and water. Thanks.
So we are also lucky to be working with Alistair, who's like an expert on the tailings topic. So on the technical program side, we have received many abstracts this year. So like Karen said, like as a sustainable mining stream chair, she was able to work with the other stream chairs to push some of these abstracts into other streams, because we had so many great abstracts that we didn't want to refuse. So we were able to kind of assemble them into sessions where it made sense to present them together and then push them in other streams where it was a good fit. So Karen was really instrumental doing that. And then ISO committee, we were supposed to have 2 people from CSA group to present an update, but they're both stuck in Calgary due to bad weather. Isabelle is here. I'm not sure if she knows what's going on. Yeah. So, but I've asked.
Yes.
I
know that Paul is presenting tomorrow morning at 11:15.
Okay.
He'll be presenting about other initiatives as well as and this one.
Yeah, but I've asked them, it was Paul and Ken, and I've asked them to send us a written summary, which we will include in our next newsletter. So if you guys are interested in knowing what's going on with that, you can just read our newsletter. And then we've had quite a few webinars this year, which Karen and Laurel were working on, and we have a website that they're managing, where we have most of the webinars. They're all recorded, and most of them are available right now on the website. The ones that are not, they will become available eventually. So we have some upcoming webinars on climate change, and in the fall we'll have one on biomining and genomics. So again, the best way to be informed is the newsletter. So read that, and then you can register for these webinars through Eventbrite.
Thank you, Julie. So I will ask Annie Mitri to give us a little summary of the committee.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to thank ESRS and Mr. Arnaud for inviting me to join you at this meeting. It's wonderful to meet all of you. Food is great. If you haven't heard about the Canadian Mining Schools Committee, don't be surprised, because it is the youngest CIM committee that's been created. So let me tell you a little bit how this has happened. A couple of years ago in Montreal, in 2017, Vic Paconis from Laurentian and I thought of inviting a few colleagues from university and say, why don't we have a meeting in Montreal to talk about common issues between mining schools? And then we sent out a few emails to colleagues from different universities. Before you know it, we had a room full of people. So by the end of the meeting, we agreed to pass a motion to CIM Council that we are interested in becoming a CIM Canadian Mining Schools Committee. So yesterday we had our third meeting, if you like, and it was equally successful, full attendance. So we're happy. So what is the purpose of the Canadian Mining Schools Committee? It's a forum for mining schools to get together, discuss common issues, and also look into things like sustainable development, safety issues, and try to unify the curriculum across Canada between the mining schools. We tend to be very strong in technical matters, and then when it comes to soft issues, we tend to drift off and do things our own way. And this is when collaboration with ESRS became obvious, because this society is very strong, as I can see from the agenda. It's very elaborate, and it was this idea to start this afternoon our first forum, Canadian Mining Education Forum, with a focus on corporate social responsibility. How much do we teach CSR in mining schools? We have speakers from Queens, Laurentian, UBC, and myself, and then we have some kind of discussion and a survey with the audience based on our presentations, to tell us if they feel that CSR is adequately covered in the mining schools. And Ann Johnson, who is wearing two hats, a member of this committee, and also being an academic, she's a member of the CMS committee. She's the link between ESRS and CMS. She will be moderating the session. So you're all invited. It's at 2 o'clock. So our it's next door. It's not very far. Okay. So what's our mission? Our mission is to basically keep Canadian mining education as at the forefront. Okay. If you look at the top 100 universities ranking, universities don't rank very high as much as the mining schools in Canada. Mining schools in Canada are top 25. McGill is number 3, and we're very proud of it. And that's not North America, not Canada. It's worldwide. So, and it's the second year in a row. Don't ask me how we did it, but this is what it is. So that's the forum. We want to maintain high level of education, where we have we are leaders in the global scale in the mining industry, and we want to maintain our leadership in education. And what are the anticipated activities? Promote mining education, promote education and mining engineering, promote CIM membership amongst our students. We felt it was not as good as it should be. Facilitate communication and exchange between Canadian mining schools. Liaise with national, international bodies. Liaise with other CIM society. So we already have now 2 reps on the committee, one with ESRS, as I mentioned, and one with CIM Safety Committee. And we would like to expand more. So if you have any ideas, let us know. As of yesterday, I'm the new chair. I'm co-founder and vice chair. And yesterday, I took over as chair, and we decided right away to expand, to follow a little bit your model of ESRS, rather than having just one vice chair and one secretary. We decided to expand, and now we have 3 vice chairs and possibly a secretary. So we're going to have an executive of 5 plus Ann and Edith. So we have an executive of 7. We want to support the organization of forums like this year. We come back every year. It becomes a tradition, Canadian Mining Education Forum, with a different theme every year. So we haven't decided what we'll do next year. We're looking for ideas. We want to be able to eventually have some ability to recognize excellence in research, excellence in education, excellence in service. And finally, we want to promote CIM membership amongst our students. So things like the CIM poster, a student poster. I helped a little bit this year. We want to be more formal in taking over this to ensure representation. I looked at the poster, it's 20. The 20 are coming from maybe, I saw 2 schools. We would like to see all 9 schools presenting to the poster session. So that being said, we have a session at 2 o'clock. It's very exciting. So as soon as you finish your society meeting, you're all welcome to join us. And I want to thank Edith and ESRS again for giving us the opportunity to interact with you. And I look forward to more work in future with you. And just to wrap it up, the very specific objective, we would like a group from your committee to help us define what should be covered in terms of the soft side of things. We know how to design a tailings dam. We teach our students this stuff, okay? We know about tailings management and all that. It's the soft side of things that we tend to neglect and struggle with. And if we can define a curriculum and we present it to the Canadian mining schools and we say, this is the curriculum. We don't care how you do it. You can break it up into pieces and present piece 1 in the first year, piece 2 in the second year. It's doable. We don't have to necessarily create a new 3-credit course to inject a new course. There are more than one way to benefit from this. And this is the same approach we're taking with the CIM Safety Committee. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Edith, can I just add a quick footnote? You heard one of the keynote speakers say today that the Dalhousie mining program is under serious threat of closure in 3 years. So I've been talking to Hannibal because I have a Dalhousie hat on, sort of. I'm an adjunct prof there, so the committee's working with us to support the program, see if we can help it to survive.
As soon as we heard about it, we got together as the executive. We wrote a letter to the president of Dalhousie, and CIM wrote a letter, and we received a reply. And we suggested mechanisms. So I think it's not over yet, or we're still going to fight it. And David asked me for some data to support the enrollment at Dow that it's reasonable. It's not low to graduate 25 students. This is great.
35 this year.
35. Yeah. This is amazing. So we're working on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Edith.
I mentioned that I didn't start working on school curriculum. That's coming from young people from ESRS a long time ago.
Yes.
We started working on that. It's a very important topic for ESRS as well. And that's why and other people from this group are now working on we have a working group for school curriculum. So, but we're very happy to have you with us and have a collaboration. Thank you. And by the way, we have 6 students that we founded from universities. 4 are coming from McGill's, and they went to the sessions on tailings yesterday. Okay. Thank you. So we will continue unless there are other questions. I feel a little bit stressed out because the sessions are starting at 2, but if there aren't any questions, I will continue the presentation and the report from the social side as soon as my mouse.
I can talk through this silent moment.
Go for it.
I'm just the only part that I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna hand it off to Lana, is the multi-stakeholder dialogue that
event is going on Wednesday afternoon. If you have not registered for that yet, please let me know. I know somebody who can get you in. It's very exclusive. You know, we're trying to like keep the crowds down, but I can definitely get you in. So let me know, come see me, and I will get you registered. And with that, I will hand it off to Lana.
Yeah, so if you're not sure if you want to attend the Montreal, there is cake. Celebrate our 10-year in presenting multi-stakeholder dialogue. And if there's any reason to come, it would be for the cake. Edith promises it's going to be a very good cake. That's why I'm going. Oh, it's even better, homemade cake. Anyway, I wanted to say that I've been involved with CIM for many years, and yesterday was my last part of my term as a council member of CIM. But I have to say, speaking of cake, it's the ESRS committee that's put the icing on the cake in terms of working with people, meeting people, building relationships. That's what it's all about. It's being a volunteer, and that's kind of the reward of being a volunteer. So thank you, Edith, and the rest of the team for making it come alive. Now, after having given Edith accolades, I have to say she is very much a taskmaster, and I get these text messages wanting certain things from me, and that's what I needed this year to keep me on top of most things. And in the coming year, I will be less involved with CIM from a council member standpoint. Edith can enjoy that task. And I'll be able to contribute more to ESRS. And I look forward to working with my second chair, Jennifer Campbell. So we're going to take this by storm. Well, not really, but I think what I really want to see move ahead is what we're doing with diversity and inclusion. And while that's a CIM committee, that CIM National we're attached to, it's very much a part of what's happening here with ESRS. And so we started our webinar series, and we'll continue with that. I've talked to a lot of people who want to be part of that webinar series, and so we'll continue to do that and contribute to that. Also, the multi-stakeholder dialogue. You know, sometimes things take a little bit of work to bring it together, but I think we have to start earlier and focusing on what we want to present on for next year. We'll continue to be a part of the NI 43-101 working group, and while my contribution has been limited, I do want to support the work that you're doing, Carola, to make this come to pass. And at council, it's always talked about how much work we're doing as a society to work on Chapter 20. So it is coming together. And while we have ideas on what we want to work on for the future, I think a big part of it is communication. So we utilize the newsletter more to talk about where we could use some help. Because I think that's what it comes down to. It's not that we as people who are involved at the committee level do all the work. It's about involving you as well. So you have, when we put out the call, you know, that we need help in certain things, we would like you to respond and to commit some of your time in developing some of the programs. So one of the things that's forward-looking is looking at Indigenous people and the whole topic of reconciliation and how that might work. And to sort of let you know, I know Hanny's already left, but some of the volunteer work that I do is I do present on a regular basis at the mining school at UBC, and the subject that I present on is reconciliation. And it's interesting because the students that come through the program, you know, I ask them, well, why are you here? And their answer is, well, we want to work in Canada, and if we want to work in Canada, we have to understand Canada's Indigenous people. So it's an opportunity for us to begin to be more playing a significant role, I think, in the soft side of mining, if that's what we want to call it. So, you know, that's my commitment to ESRS this year, and I'm looking forward to playing a stronger part in it, and I'm looking forward to each of you responding and helping as well. Thank you, Lana and Lily. So Wednesday, 2 o'clock,
see you
all there. You know, I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a great session, and yeah, great way to close out your end. Any questions for the social part of ESRS? before I turn the microphone to Laurel. Laurel, to you.
So everybody kind of touched on webinars and newsletters. So I'm the one that's responsible on the back end for all of that stuff, and maybe the newsletter, but well, I get help from everybody else on the committee, but I'm the one that rolls that out. This has been my first experience working with the CIM on an executive level. I'm still an undergraduate student, so that's why there's the note that's continuing next year. It'll be the same kind of thing, but with more experience. So I'm hoping to be able to rely a little bit less on the executive team and be able to expand more into working with other students at UBC, specifically the Women in Mining group, getting them more involved with our activities and hopefully joining up more extensively with the newly formed Canadian Mining Schools Committee. That's all. I'm going to keep it short and sweet.
Question for Laurel. It's not recess.
Hi, everyone. So, I'm Security. I'm responsible for.
So I'm Risa Fury. I'm responsible for awards, and I did this slide a long time ago. So we're awarding the Diversity and Inclusion Award for the third time this year. Very excited about that. I believe that's at the event tonight. There were other nominations for distinguished service and things like this that I'm looking into right now. I'm not sure if something slipped through this year, but hopefully I can get that sorted out. And then beyond that, I think the message that I have for all of you is that we're always looking for nominations. Nominating a colleague, someone you admire, it's just a really great way to recognize the person. It's a great way to make CIM really relevant in their careers. And if you ever need help with that, I've done a lot of nominating over the years, and I'm very happy to help with anything.
Question? Do we have a special?
I don't know yet.
Thank you, Rita. Application.
Oh, two?
Hi, my name is Gabriel Castillo. I'm in charge of publications with EDIT. So this was my first year supporting on CIM, and I'm very glad. It's a very dynamic and fabulous team, and I learned a lot for each of you, the work doing in the webinars, in the directions of the meetings, the perspectives of the environment and the social issues here in Canada. So the part of the work to bring the knowledge and to be able to share the knowledge to the different members, to CIM and others, is to obtain these publications. So the idea is to have advisory board to be able to have this peer review process for the different abstracts and papers that we are receiving. One of the challenge right now that in this last year we have was the timing and the response of some peer reviewers. So it's something that we are going to start to work in the next month to continue increment on looking for other peer reviewers around the world that even could be not necessarily be member of CIM, but could review the different papers that we are going to receive, be able to publish in the magazine. So the initial focus was to the PhD members in general for all CIM, but we want to have a more big group, so be able to reduce the timing of the reviewing process. For this year, there is even we are going to propose 8 names for have a advisory a board to help us on what topics we are going to receive or ask some papers, and then we are planning for this fall to have a special edition on social, and then we are going to work another one in environmental. So it's going to be a special edition on social. So we have already a group of authors, and we are follow the publication with them. And then the idea is going to be for the next year another one about environmental. So that is my presentation. Thank you. I don't know if you have any question. I encourage you, please, to make more publications. It's not necessary to be academic, but I think it's very important now that I'm in the academic sector, that I come from the industry now in the academic sector. It's really, really very important to show what the industry is doing. We as miners, we are not maybe the best communicators, but we need to improve to show what we are doing and the importance of the mining to the society. Thank you.
We have some working groups. I don't know if you can have a few words from the lead, the directors of the working group. I can do a few seconds. I will just say, come to the session on Wednesday morning, 10:30, room 513. And you will find out what's going on. We'll give you a good summary.
Thank you. Alistair, you already talked about the tailing.
I want to make 2 more comments. First of all, I neglected in my original spiel to acknowledge the major assistance that I received from Diana Solner there, sitting over in the corner. She helped me immensely to pull the whole thing off, and I'm very grateful to you. And secondly, given the seriousness of the whole tailings set of issues, whereas in the past we've gone for a rather ad hoc assembly of people signing up to be on a working group, and then it sort of happens and sort of doesn't as people get busy. I'm really going to push to form a proper formal subcommittee that is run more tightly and lives up to the expectations, I think, that are there, and which further elevates the importance of the topic within ESRS and CIM. Thank you.
The people left the room, and perhaps I can we're not here to talk about the conflict in mining, but also to report or at least a summary of what's going on with the working groups will be in the next newsletter for all of you to look at. And if you have any questions or interest, please contact us. You did receive a little card there. You have our address, and we'll be pleased to include you in the working groups without any problem. We have a strategic plan for 2018 to 2020. There's a little mistake here. What I'll do, because of the time, I won't present it, the strategic plan, but it's, again, it will be part of, it's something that we can give easily to all of you if you are interested to get a copy. Of course, just to give you an idea of the strategic plan, we are following the strategic goals of CIM, which is obvious. So the leading edge knowledge, engage CIM communities, and mining contributions to society for it. That part is important because we need a motion to show that we presented the budget to the assembly. So Kim, are you going to present it? Because I'm not sure we can hear well. So I will ask Coco, who's taking over Kim's role as the treasurer, to present briefly the budget. Coco?
Well, can you just move the slide down? There's a slide on it.
I fell down on my job.
I can present, Edith, if you can hear me.
Perfect. Yep. We didn't. Okay.
Pardon me?
Kim. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You see the budget items, we had a 2018 budget that we were showing a loss of 13 grand. But if you look at the actuals, we made $3,000, which is good. So this year's budget, I'm going to go down from the top. Office expenses, 3,000. Officers participation, 3,000. First Nation participation, 3,000. We have one BC First Nation coming to the multi-stakeholder dialogue. We had $2,000 in support for the student participation in workshops. And he has just said we had 6 from McGill and had another 3 from Quebec, I believe. We put down $5,000 for CSA mining. It would be new standards work, and we put in $10,000 already to the ISO TC 82. It was for mine closure. 43101, we had $10,000 budgeted last year for travel, and as you can see, we spent no money, and it was all done through webinars and meetings online, which is great. We put in $3,000 for this year to have professional editing done if we need to. For working groups, we put $2,500 in, such as tailings, might be for different venues elsewhere. $2,500, this is more CIM requests, possibly the education one that Roy talked about. Humanitarian, if we have any ESR related donations. Management meeting expenses, we've bumped that up $500 because it's getting more expensive to have these meetings and cater it. Communications, $1,500 for the Zoom communications and other promotions, and $500 for gifts, miscellaneous stuff. So we're looking at expenses of $31,000. Total income, it depends on what CIM is going to be doing with sponsorship surplus sharing. But if it was anything like last year, we made $16,000 on it. So we're looking at ending balance of $54,000 if we spend it all. Okay, that's about it. Is there any questions? But we need to have a motion to approve this budget.
To receive.
I'll make the motion to approve the budget.
You received the budget. Thank you, Lisa. Jennifer, for support. Any questions or concerns about the budget? Do you agree with the budget? That's fine. Thank you very much. It's done. Thank you, Kim.
Bet.
We have some amendments to the charter. That won't be long, I promise. So this is the charter that was adopted for the first time last year at the same CIM Convention, but in Vancouver. Only a few changes, minor changes. They are all in yellow. So it's about the dates. It's about a term, objective here, which was vision before, but it's objectives. And then we added some topics related to environmental and social responsibilities. It's just clearer in terms of topics. And we also added a box for the past chair. We added the NNR for secretary treasurer because this year we will have one treasurer and one secretary instead of one person doing both. And we will have at-large advisors such as David Forrester and Kim Bittman. They will both become at-large advisors, so come whenever they want to our meetings. And then the last modification, no, they don't have voting rights. And the last, sorry for your eyes, the last one is just a little coherence term that we can create any other special working groups within the organization. So what I want is just a motion to see that we receive the, we need a motion? We don't need even?
So, yeah.
to receive,
To amend.
to amend the charter. Any, you want to move the motion? Do I have a supporter to support this? Thank you, Holly and Julie. Oh, and Simon? Okay. Any people, do you have any questions about them? Again, they are available if you want to see them. And they, it's pretty clear, I think. So any questions or concerns? If not, I will say that it is adopted. Thank you. Trying to go fast. I'm presenting to you the new executive of ESRS for 2019-2020. As you know, you may know that we have positions for 2 years, so I am still the chair for this year. Carola Tuck, still the past chair, Karen Chauvin also. We have the same people for environment, and for social responsibility, we have a new incomer, which is Jennifer Hill. She's just over in front of me. We are looking for someone for secretary. We have someone in mind, but if you are still interested, there's a position here. We have a new treasurer, which is Coco Calderhead, and she will be mentored by Kim Bittman for this year. Thank you to both of you. Gabrielle will be in charge of publication, and communication director still Laurel Acacia, awards still Risa, and we have now 2 at-large advisors, which are David Forrester and Kim Bittman. Kim, I want to take this moment to thank you very much for all your good work you did with us, and I don't know how I will do without you, but at least I know that Coco will be there for at least 2 years, and I'm sure we will have a great time with you, and I know you won't be able to go away and that you will participate to our meetings. I'm sure you'll be curious.
Thank you.
We have involvement opportunities to come. So if you are interested, those are the groups that we're going to work with for the next year. So technical sessions, it's always something very important. Karen needs a lot of help. It takes a lot of time to work on the technical session. We have something on tailings. We're looking at something maybe such as the conferences this year. So the working group on tailings will have lots of work to do. Conflict in mining, we have Andres Recalde, who will be in charge of this one. Awards, we still have Risa. Stakeholder and community engagement, we have a new lead, a new director, which is Jocelyn Fraser from British Columbia, and Zorig is working with her. We also have, we will have a follow-up on ISO TS82 on closure. We still have some work to do on NI 43-101, school curriculum with Ann Johnson. Lead director is Ann Johnson, and we have a working group for the Center of Excellence to come. So there's lots of work to be done for the next year. Just a little schedule of what we're doing during the year. We have monthly webinars. We have board meetings by season, 4 CIM National Council meetings, 6 to 10 technical programs meetings, sometimes more, and 12 ESRS newsletters, sometimes more. It depends on the activities, and many working groups meetings. So this is the work we do during the year. And we did those presentations. Let me still thank you. Merci beaucoup pour votre présence jusqu'à la fin. Je sais qu'il y a d'autres sessions qui ont commencé. Alors, je vous remercie beaucoup. And thank you for the executive and to be able to bear with me and to be patient with all my demands and tasks. Thank you very much.
Thank you for keeping us on track.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm closing the session. Thank you very much. Not too bad. No?